Welcome to video 2 in a new video series where I'm going to break down all of the steps to flipping houses by using a real live deal I'm currently working on in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now in this part 2 video, I'm going to cover exactly how I analyze the deal and crunch the numbers. So get ready to look over my shoulder and watch me flip this house coming up.
The Real Estate Funding Kit is out now. Learn how to get 100% funding for all your deals without dealing with the banks. Claim your free copy at myfundingkit.com.
Now, if you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton and I went from dead broke to millionaire flipping houses, and after doing 1,000 deals, I created this channel to help you master the art of wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. Now, in case you missed part 1 in this video series, this deal was brought to me by one of my finders in my Finder program. It's a probate property in New Orleans that I'm currently gonna keep and fix and flip. And since I live in Arizona, I'm gonna do it virtually without ever seeing the property in person. By the way, I'll put all of the videos in this video series about this deal in a playlist, and I'll put that playlist link in the description below for you. Now on this video, I'm really gonna break down the numbers for you. Other than just doing it yourself, seeing a real live case study is the best way to learn how to analyze a deal. My goal is to let you get inside my head and see this deal from my perspective. Now to me, this is a home run deal, and I wanna show you why I think that. Now, I'm a firm believer in being able to quickly and accurately analyze deals and understand the numbers. I believe wholesaling and flipping is a science, not an art, and that means anyone can learn how to do it. When it comes to analysis, you have to become proficient at taking a distressed property and calculating two things. First, the property's value and its potential future value. This is the value of the home after it's fixed up. In other words, the price a retail buyer will pay for the home, assuming certain improvements are made. This is often called after repair value, or ARV. Now I'll show you how to do that using my New Orleans deal as a case study. And the second thing that you need to know how to do is the improvements, what improvements are needed and how much those improvements will cost. Once you know the ARV and the cost of repairs, you can follow a simple formula to crunch the numbers, taking into consideration soft costs such as closing fees, commissions, and financing costs, as well as your desired profit if you fix and flip it or if you wholesale it. Now, this formula ultimately helps you calculate your maximum allowable offer, or MAO. This is the max price you can pay for the home to hit your desired profit. Now, if you're new to wholesaling and flipping, and if what I just said is unclear in any way, then let me slow down and back it up a bit. I have a video that breaks down in detail the wholesaling and flipping buy formula. I'll put a link to that video in the description below and you can check it out. But to give you a big picture overview, when I fix and flip a house, I typically follow the 70% formula. That means all said and done, I want to be all in on a fix and flip deal for 70% of the after repair value. That means after I fix up the property, I'll have 30% in equity. Of that 30%, I factor in 15% for soft costs to cover closing fees, commissions, and financing, and then the other 15% is my profit for doing the deal. And if you're a wholesaler and you bring a deal to a fix and flipper cash buyer like me, you would need to build in your wholesale fee into that number when calculating your MAO. Now, I'll show you what I mean. Let's take a look at my New Orleans deal so that you can see my numbers on the deal. First, let me show you how I determined the after repair value using my free comp tool and my free deal analyzer tool. Now, once I enter in the property into the free tool, click right here where it says, click here to view comps. And what it does is it pulls up a map on the left. Right here is my subject property. All of these dots are sold homes in the area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose the comps that I think are most relevant. So I'm gonna start at the top of my list. Once I put my mouse over the address, you'll see that the pin will bounce on the map over on the left, so I know where it's at in relation to my property. So for example, this first one here on Cadiz Street is only a few blocks away, and it's similar in square footage and beds and baths, and it sold for $550,000, which is $271 a foot. Now, if I want to see more info about any particular comp, I can click right here on the address and it will open up the Zillow listing. From here, I can look at pictures and other information. And after taking a look, I really like this comp because it's been recently updated. So going back to my comp tool, I'm gonna checkbox that property. Once I do that, notice that the pin on the map changes to red, and right here it gave me 3 figures. These figures are the averages of whatever comps I select below. So let's select all the comps we want to use, and then I'll come back to these numbers and explain what they mean. The second comp is not relevant because it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath and only 1,100 square feet. So let's skip that one. The third one on upper line is 3,300 square feet, so that's way too big, so let's skip that one. The fourth one on LaSalle is not only really close, but it's very similar, so I'm gonna checkbox that one. And so I'm gonna go through this list and checkbox all of the comps that are relevant. And what makes it relevant? That it's close in proximity, that it's similar in size and features, and that it recently sold. Now, I think I have like 7 comps in the immediate neighborhood. Now, right here, what my comp tool does is it automatically calculates the average price per square foot. That means these 7 comps I selected on average sold for $263 per foot. And since my deal is 2,141 square feet, if you multiply $263 a foot by 2,141 square feet, you get the after repair value of $563,000. And as a reference, the average sold price of my 7 comps is $578,571, which is a little higher than the ARV. So I'm gonna go with a nice round of $575,000 as my ARV, but initially my concern was that the exterior curb appeal of my deal is not so good. I mean, look at my house. Kinda ugly, don't you think? So initially I discounted my ARV about $40,000 to be safe at $535,000. But I've since bumped it back up to $575,000, which I'll show you a little bit later, so keep watching. So now that I have the ARV, let's run my deal analyzer. Right here, click Run Deal Analyzer. Now my free comp tool is gonna ask a series of questions. First is this a fix and flip or new construction flip? So click fix and flip. And then the next question is what type of rehab is needed on this deal? And it gives me 3 options to choose from. Light, which is just carpet and paint, average, which is carpet, paint, kitchen, bath, and heavy, which is doing everything on the deal, a complete gut job. Now I need to relocate my kitchen, I need to do a deck and a patio, and I've got to try and do something with that exterior. Remember, if I'm gonna get $575,000, this house has to feel like new construction. So what I'm gonna choose is heavy. And as you'll see in a minute, the software uses an algorithm I created to match the square footage with the level of rehab to determine a solid repair number to go with. And if you'd like to see a video I did that breaks down how I calculate the cost of repairs based on those 3 different levels, I'll put a video in the description box below and you can check that out later. Next, it asks if I want to wholesale the deal, and let's say that you're a wholesaler and you want to make $10,000 wholesaling this deal. So let's say yes, and then put $10,000 as the fee. And then click Submit. Now, my free tool runs all of the numbers. Let's take a look. Here is the square footage. Here is the price per square foot that was determined from our 7 comps. But remember, I bumped the ARV to $575,000, so I'm gonna increase the price per square foot a little bit until we reach $575,000 as the ARV. Next is the rehab cost, which the system calculated $75,000 based on choosing a heavy rehab, but I'm gonna adjust this right now. I really need to do some work on that exterior of the house if I'm going to hit $575,000. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna budget $75,000 to completely redo the interior, and then I'm gonna budget another $25,000 to do the exterior. Why $25,000? Because that should give me enough money to really change that exterior look to something more modern. So I'm gonna change my rehab cost to a total of $100,000. Now you'll see 3 fields right here. Estimated closing cost at 9% of ARV. That covers fees to buy and sell, including transfer tax, prorations, title insurance, and commissions. Next is estimated carrying cost at 6% of ARV, which is the cost of financing to borrow hard money and private money to finance this project. Now I do most of my deals with 100% funding. If you want to learn how to do that, you know the drill. I have a video that breaks it down, link in the description. Next is desired profit at 15% of ARV. So these 3 items come to 30%. In other words, we're taking 30% off the top to cover these 3 things, or another way to say it is I'm buying at 70% of ARV. And the last number is the wholesale fee, which we use $10,000 as our example, which is actually what I'm paying my finder who brought me this deal. So let's look at these numbers. Following the 70% formula as I have it right now, if you got this contract for $292,000, you could wholesale it for $10,000 more to a fix and flipper who would spend $100,000 doing the extensive rehab and then resell it for $575,000. And if you hit those numbers, the rehabber would make $86,000. But here's the thing. The contract on this deal is for $250,000 and I'm paying my finder $10,000, so my total cost to buy this deal is $260,000. So let me adjust the numbers to my actual deal. Here are the numbers for me. I'm all in for $260,000 to get this deal. I'm gonna spend $100,000 on the rehab and resell it for $575,000. And if I hit those numbers, I'll make a profit of almost $129,000 using none of my own money. Now, if you think that's pretty cool, leave a comment and say, Jerry, you are a flipping genius. Or wait until I actually do it, and if I hit those numbers, then tell me I'm a flipping genius. But I'm really excited about this deal. And if you want this comp tool with built-in deal analyzer for free, just go to compmydeal.com for a free unlimited login. But if you'd like to unlock my entire house flipping deal management system, be sure to check out Flipster. Not only does Flipster have my comp tool and deal analyzer, but it has dozens of other tools, including a CRM with workflow to track all of your deals and really help you stay organized, over a dozen different lead types, all of your paperwork, marketing tools such as skip tracing, text blasting, RVM, direct mail, a VA service, and so much more. To learn more and see it in action, just go to getflipster.com. And be sure to be on the lookout for part 3 in this video series. On that video, I'm gonna really reinforce this video by sharing with you 3 live phone calls, one with the real estate agent to go over all of the numbers and how I determine what needs to be done, and 2 calls with general contractors to discuss the rehab project. Remember, I'm doing this whole thing virtually. So as soon as that video comes out, I'll add that video to the playlist. And again, the playlist link to this video series is in the description below. And finally, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. With something like 600 videos, this is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things wholesaling and flipping, and I'll see you on the next video.